What's up, everybody? Hopefully you all liked that intro, the epic intro. I have everything automated now, so it was like I clicked one button and it switched all of that and even to like this camera. But hopefully everybody's having a good evening, good Saturday night. Been a little bit since my last live stream. We've got Eric in the house. How's it going, Eric? Nice to see you as well. Craig in here. Why do I feel like I'm watching the start of Escape from New York with this intro and music? Dude, very Escape from New York. Thanks for stopping by. Hunter Iggy, what is your thoughts on WB screwing Henry Cavill Superman with a black Superman? Well, I mean, of course there was a bunch of drama on Twitter regarding Henry Cavill's who he follows on social media. But I mean, it's hard to say at this point. I mean, yeah, I want to see a Henry Cavill Superman movie, but this is sort of seeming like a Elseworld, sort of a different Earth sort of thing. So, I mean, the script's not even written. I don't know. I want to see a Henry Cavill movie, but it's still early to sort of see what they're exactly kind of doing with this movie. Love that intro. Yeah, man, me too. There's an article out that has an interview with Zach that people are twisting. It says it's using the fans to get what he wants, and he tricked us. I haven't seen that. Not sure who that was from. Comic Chat in the house. What's up, Danny? Thanks for stopping by. I've got to do this more often. Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. I know. I mean, after Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, it's just sort of the timing with things, and I was busy, and it was just hard to sort of get those opportunities to sort of sit down and do this. But I am here, and I'm going to try and do more. The only way I'm watching Black Superman if it's Kal-El is by being I don't know what you mean, Craig. Andrew, any other Batman or Superman actors you like? Obviously I like Christopher Reeve as Superman. I mean, that's sort of the staple for a lot of people. I like the first two. The third one sort of starts to get off the rails, and then the fourth one's just kind of like a comedy at that point. And then you got like Nuclear Man and all that stuff in there. But I mean, I do like Brandon Routh's Superman and Superman Returns from 2006. I thought he was a great Superman. It's just the movie, I don't know. It's like he doesn't really fight anybody in the movie. I know Kevin Spacey's been canceled, but I thought he was a phenomenal Lex Luthor. I don't know. It's just the movie itself wasn't that good, but I liked sort of the elements in it, like Brandon Routh's Superman and Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor, all that stuff. I thought that was really cool. But recently I was never watching Smallville on the CW when that first came out. And I tried watching it recently, and I feel like it's even more cheesy than the CW stuff that's on nowadays. But I know there's a lot of people that love what's his name? Tom Welling as Clark and Superman, but I just couldn't get into it. Pirate. Okay. All right. Did you hear that someone made an impressive fan-made game demo based on the 1989 Batman film with Keaton? No, I haven't. I still like Brandon Routh. Wish they would bring him back. Dude, yeah. I mean, it was awesome to see him sort of do the Kingdom Come sort of version on, what was that? Crisis on Infinite Earths or something like that. That was cool. and he even had the awesome outfit there. But yeah, I would love to see him sort of come back in some multiverse capacity, like in the movies, on the big screen with what's going on. But I don't know. With the first Superman, they did a lot of filming here in Alberta for the Kent Farm and the high school, and there is a deleted scene of him walking past the Angel Glacier in Jasper National Park. Dude, that's awesome. And that would have been maybe what? If it came out in 78, maybe filming in 77? Craig, how old were you when they were doing that? I mean, do you have any, do you remember that sort of happening? Like, at the time? Smallville is not cheesy. Dude, it's cheesy, man. It's cheesy. Tom Welling is good as Clark Kent. Yeah, I really like, for me, the stuff that I don't necessarily like is kind of like sort of the villain stuff, the villain of the week. And I mean, they've done that, and they're still doing that on the CW. But the Tom Welling is Clark, and his dad, the actor who plays Jonathan, those guys are the best part of the show, easily. So, I don't know. There's worse shows out there, but I just couldn't get into it. But did you guys see? I mean, it's been kind of out for a couple hours at this point, but there was that. I think it was an Israeli interview with Gal Gadot as sort of prodding information on the whole Joss Whedon debacle on set with her. That's sort of the hot topic of the day. Dean Cain. Yeah. I actually remember, my mom was, I mean, it must have been like a Terry Hatcher sort of thing, but like my mom was watching Superman and Lois back in the day. I mean, I don't really remember much about the show, but I think it's on HBO Max. I think. Thoughts about The Flash 2022. It's like this movie I've been looking forward to for so long. But it's just kind of like tainted by all this other like bullshit and like drama. And I mean, obviously I have like Michael Keaton coming back to play Batman, and, Ben Affleck's Batman is also in there. Not sure how much either of them are going to be in the movie, but, and even like Andy Muschietti, like directed the It movies that I like. Not some, the second one was kind of, it's definitely not quite up to par, but, I like him as a director, and I think they can do cool stuff with it, but it's just like whenever I think about the movie, I just sort of think about all the drama around it. And I don't know, once I see some like actual footage, like I can sort of like maybe sort of compartmentalize that in my brain, but I don't know. We'll see what they do with it and how much it's exactly tied into like a post BVS or Zack Snyder's Justice League world, I guess, or if they're actually going to try and like use this as sort of a reset button, as what's been kind of like rumored, or, what people talk about online that are like anti Snyderverse, We'll see. When they filmed that in 77, I would have been 4 and way up north. Okay. But never knew they filmed here in Alberta till just recently. You can see the farm and school on Google Maps. Nice. Yeah, I don't think anything's really filmed kind of. I mean, I grew up in a small town in Michigan. I'm in a larger, not a big city, but definitely a larger area now. But I think Val Kilmer did in Grand Rapids. Val Kilmer came to town and filmed like it must have been like straight to like DVD movie called like The Steam Room. And they used, I think they used like the newspaper like building, like the headquarters of the Grand Rapids newspaper. But never saw the movie. I don't even know if there's a trailer out online for it. Probably, but I don't know. I think it was like 12 years ago or something like that. So anyway, thoughts on the Flash 1990 show or the CW one? I never saw. Well, I guess the 1991. I like maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I tried watching kind of a couple episodes, just because like the actor, I forget his name. I can't remember the guy's name. Well, he's Barry's dad in I guess the current Flash TV series. I like that guy as sort of like Barry's dad too. I think that's kind of a nice sort of connection between the shows. But anyway, I guess the current Flash series I watched up until I think season 4 was maybe my last season that I watched. The first season, I really enjoyed the first season of The Flash on the CW. And then the second season, that was the one with I think Zoom. That was still okay. I liked that, but it was kind of a step down from the first season. And then season 3, I think that was the one with like Savitar, and I don't know. It started falling off the rails for me. And then season 4, I think that was the one with the Thinkerer. And that was just, I had to move on. So I watched 4 seasons. So I have no idea what's happened since then. But yeah, I guess to sum it up, I really enjoyed the first season. And I think I even bought it on Blu-ray. I enjoyed it that much. But I don't know. That's probably my favorite show out of the CW. Like, I never liked Arrow all that much. Let's see. Legends of Tomorrow had some fun stuff in it. Some stuff I liked. But I don't know. It's just, I'm kind of done with that whole CW universe, man. It's kind of one note for me. You know, like a lot of those shows, they're just the same format, and they all have their headquarters. They all have like half a dozen people that like, they're like buddies that like work for them in the superhero headquarters. Yeah, John Wesley Shipp, Grant Gustin. Yeah, I thought that to me is like one of the best parts about The Flash. Oh, let's see here. I'm opening your message, Craig. Bear with me, guys. One second. Eric, are you going to the theater for Army of the Dead? Well, I messaged my local theater chain, and I think they said that they're announcing which theaters they have, like not a monopoly, but like they're the greater sort of, I guess, the main theater chain, like in my part of the state, and they're going to be screening it, but they haven't announced which theaters are having it. So I don't know if I have to drive. I'm okay with like driving like a half hour, 40 minutes to one of the other theaters a little bit further away. But I'm sure they'll have it in like Grand Rapids or something like that, which is like 35 minutes away. But I just don't know if like my theater that's like 5-10 minutes away from my house is going to have it. But yeah, I'm hoping to watch it in theaters. And it would be badass. Really looking forward to Army of the Dead, after the downer that was the big disappointment Mortal Kombat, man. God, what a shit show, man. Oh my God. I mean, some of the trailers like leading up to it looked pretty cool, but like I should have went with my gut instinct going into the movie. Like they never had really an established director attached to this thing. I hope they can do a sequel and continue the franchise. Because, I mean, we didn't even get to the tournament. That's the thing. Like, the Mortal Kombat Twitter account, like, they put out, like, should we make a sequel? And then I quote tweeted that and it said, yeah, I'd like to see the tournament. So it's like you do a Mortal Kombat movie, but you don't even feature, like, the Mortal Kombat, like, tournament in the thing. But anyway. In my opinion, the best part of the Flash is Eobard Thawne in Reverse Flash. I can agree with that. Dude, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Hello, my fellow Michigander. Dude, I hope I can see Army of the Dead in theater. I took the vaccine mainly for that reason. Cheers. Yeah, cheers to you, man. Yeah, normally I go to Celebration Cinema Carousel in Muskegon. I messaged the theater chain on Twitter and they said they're going to be screening the movie in some of their theaters, but they haven't announced which theaters are exactly going to have it. So I don't know. We'll see. But thank you so much for that super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Your plans and future content here in YouTube. Well, I guess my channel, it's always sort of been like commentary. I mean, I've done a lot of like movie reviews as like they've come out, and I even have a podcast on here that I did with my brother. Like it's still in the I may have taken out the playlist, but you can still like search for the videos and stuff. But we did a podcast called Abominations in Technicolor, and like we reviewed movies that were like critically sort of panned, but like movies that we still liked and enjoyed. So like what we would do is, go on Rotten Tomatoes and like look at movies and see like what the score is, like what the general consensus of the reviews are. And then we would like look up clips of like what Siskel and Ebert had to say about the movie, and then sort of like put that in front on the episode, and then we would give our opinion. So it was kind of like a little bit of a time hop back in the day to sort of like see kind of like what people initially thought of the movie when it came out, and then like what it's like now. But I mean, we reviewed all sorts of movies, comedies, action movies from the 80s, and all sorts of stuff. But like, I guess in the future, like I'll probably review, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get into like Marvel stuff. DC as of late, man, like it's hard. Like there's days where it's like stuff comes out like regarding like Warner Brothers and stuff. And it's just like, I have no interest in like talking about it, man. It's just like kind of not depressing or anything like that, but it's just like news that's just kind of like not fun or enjoyable to sort of talk about, I suppose. And I mean, with Warner Brothers, like the last, I don't know, year or so is just like, man, that studio is just a total shit show, man. The first 7 minutes in Kano were great. Yeah, dude, the opening sequence, and I was kind of bummed that they released that online, but like I get it, because like it's the best part of the movie. And the rest of the movie just shit the bed, man. Not good. And I mean, Shang Tsung, like, that guy was not sort of like a threatening villain at all. I mean, you cast the accountant from The Dark Knight as like the villain of your movie. There was nothing in that movie that was sort of like developed or interesting, really. Mortal Kombat Legacy is way better than this. I think that's on HBO Max. I need to check that out. That's one that I have not seen. My favorite Mortal Kombat character is Johnny Cage. I like Johnny Cage, man. The Shadow Kick. Yeah, it'll be if they're able to do a sequel, which, I mean, I guess it's hard to gauge like how well a movie does nowadays, like with like theaters still not being open, because you can't sort of compare it to like other movies in the genre and stuff like that, and the box office is kind of, I don't know. It's hard. It's just kind of hard to compare, like how well a movie does in general these days. But like, it sounds like the movie really tanked last weekend. But I don't know. I hope they can make a sequel, get a better director, because that's the thing about this sort of like failure that the movie was. It didn't get into the tournament, which is like the good part of the story and what makes Mortal Kombat good in the first place. So I don't know. I still think there's opportunity to do something with it. They just got to get a different writer and director at this point. WB is just losing their minds. Yeah, dude. It's a shit show, man. It's like multiple times every week where there's like something coming out negative about this studio. And I think like the Hollywood Reporter like Black Superman article, like that didn't really have much more information than the article that sort of announced like Ta-Nehisi Coates like a month or two ago. So I don't understand like necessarily the reason why they had to put that article out in the first place. But I don't know, unless it was sort of like they knew that Toby Emmerich article was coming out and like the studio just wanted to put something out like positive, I guess. But I don't know. It's weird. There's this like political sort of game where they're just like putting out articles, and they're like, Warner Brothers is always like playing defense, right? So they're like having like some journalist from the Hollywood Reporter like type up and put out an article because they know something negative's coming out later that day. But I don't know. It's a weird game, man. I would never want to work in that business. A lot of slimy people running that stuff. I like Johnny Cage's cocky Hollywood attitude. Yeah, man, that's what makes him like he's definitely the sort of the comedic relief out of all the kind of like Mortal Kombat characters. I mean, the 1995 movie, man. I absolutely love that movie. I even watched it like maybe a couple months ago. Still holds up, man. I mean, sure, some of the special effects might not as of late, but still the best video game movie in my opinion. But I mean, the Tomb Raider movie with Alicia Vikander, I think that's a pretty decent video game movie. Don't give up on Mortal Kombat. Yeah, man. I'm right there with you. It's just this movie I can't defend other than those first 7 minutes. I thought that was great. Do I think Henry Cavill's coming back as Superman in the Man of Steel 2 Superman sequel? Well, I don't know. It doesn't... I'm trying to remember. Was it this past fall? We heard there was an article out that he signed a new deal, or he was going to be used as sort of like a supporting role in upcoming movies, but he wasn't going to have his own movie. Like he could probably be in Black Adam or Shazam 2. I don't know. It's I don't want him to be used that way. But I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff going around online, like rumors saying that there's bad blood between Warner Brothers and Henry Cavill, and all the BS between there was bad blood with because Henry shot down doing that Shazam cameo because he didn't want to use that one film left up on his contract for that and wanted to save it for a movie or re-upping his contract for more money. So there's all this sort of stuff going around, and I don't know. I honestly don't know at this point, man. It's so hard to say. It really sucks being there's so much kind of baggage being a DCEU fan because of just how Warner Brothers handles everything. Kung Lao's half fatality was great, but he said flawless victory for a dumb reason. They did the same thing on the 95 Mortal Kombat film. Yeah, dude, you have to watch Mortal Kombat Legacy. It's way better. All right. Maybe after this live stream, I'll put it on the TV. Is there anyone that's any actor that's kind of... I'll just look it up. Well, shit, it's got the same dude as Shang Tsung. Jerry Ryan from Star Trek playing Sonya Blade. I can get behind that choice. Dude, Casper Van Dien? Johnny Cage? Johnny Rico as Johnny Cage? Johnny Rico from Starship Troopers. Michael Jai White as Jax. That's a good casting choice right there. Dang, dude. This cast, I'm much more satisfied with who they're cast as than this recent movie, man. Apparently, Henry unfollowed Warner Brothers and DC on social media. Yeah, I heard that too. But I did see, people going around saying that that wasn't true, that he never followed them. I don't know. It's do I put stock or trust in the relationship between the actor and the studio, between if they follow them or unfollow them on Instagram? And I know there's been stuff that's been proven true where somebody might be in a movie and they just followed somebody, and it could be for any reason, right? But I know there's been situations where that's been proven true. Sonic is the best video game movie, and Tomb Raider with Angelina was fun too. Dude, I recently watched Sonic. I'm looking forward to the sequel because it's gonna have Jim Carrey's look is gonna be Dr. Robotnik or whatever. He's gonna look way more crazy and sort of like what we're sort of used to from the Sonic games from back in the day. But quite a charming little movie. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I wish a movie like Sonic, I don't like that it has to take place in like regular, like human modern day. You know what I mean? But I guess I understand why they always try and do it that way. Why does Warner Brothers want to reboot Superman? Henry Cavill is the best Superman. I mean, they have their own agenda, I don't know. And, they probably just want to distance themselves from, they have their own like sort of egos and sort of, I don't know. What they tried to do 3.5 years ago with Justice League and sort of morph it into the abomination that it is and that they have to live with for the rest of their Hollywood careers. It didn't work. So, and Zack Snyder's Justice League was a success. And I don't know if they just don't want to like go where the success is, but they have their own thing that they want to do. And I don't know. But yeah, Henry Cavill is my favorite Superman. Man of Steel, I don't know. It switches between Man of Steel and BVS. As much as I love Zack Snyder's Justice League, I still need to sit with it longer to know if it's like my favorite out of like the three. But Man of Steel, like just the dynamic between Clark and Jonathan Kent and then Jor-El, I love that. But yeah, we'll see if there's a sequel, man. I mean, I'm still holding out hope for Christopher McQuarrie and Henry Cavill doing something. I think that would be freaking awesome. Dude, Starship Troopers is so good, man. But there's like 5 of those movies at this point now. And like an animated movie, it's like that franchise is still going on. Same with the Tremors franchise. There's like 7 or 8 of those movies. It's like rivaling the Fast and the Furious franchise at this point. This is the article where people think Zach betrayed us. I just don't see where or how he would have betrayed the fans, man. Who is going to play Johnny Cage in the Mortal Kombat sequel? Fan casting is not my forte. I did see The Miz from WWE sort of like trying to campaign for the role. Like even tagging Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, like in his tweets and stuff. But I don't know. I'm kind of open to anybody. I mean, you kind of have to be able to play that sort of like Hollywood action star angle and sort of be a little bit more comedic. But I mean, the movie itself, they went with completely unknowns. But for the sequel, do you try and get somebody that's a little bit more known? I don't know. It's 2 seasons and has Ian Anthony Dale from Hawaii Five-0 as Scorpion. The Scorpion Sub-Zero story is good too. All right. I'll check it out, guys. I'll check it out. That was fake news that he unfollowed them. Right, regarding Henry Cavill. The Dork Night, what's up, party people? Yeah, on a Saturday night, 10:14 p.m. where I am. I've got a cup of coffee. That Jim Carrey line in Sonic had me on the floor. I was laughing so hard. I'm trying to remember which one. I don't remember which specific one you're talking about. Eric, I need to hire you to set up my camera. Well, I mean, like, if you're curious about like what gear I use ever, like I include it in my descriptions in my video, just because I've like had people like ask me about it before. But if you're ever curious, but like for I guess for how I get like my camera look, I suppose. I never use autofocus. I use I guess it's a fixed aperture, or not aperture, but it's not a zoom lens. So, you know, the only way to get, you know, closer or, you know, increase the image is for me to like actually like move closer to the camera, or the camera to like move closer to me. But like what's cool about this camera is to not try and get too nerdy, but like it has a wide open aperture of like 1.7. So that's how you get that kind of like blurry sort of background. And then I have a key light. It's just like an Elgato Key Light. And I can turn that off just like on my, I'll just show you. I get really nerdy with the tech equipment stuff, but I have this Elgato Stream Deck controller, so I can like, but with the touch of a button, I can like change my scenes here. So I can go back to like this one, which is just like a full image of me, and then I can, you know, press this button, one below it, and then that'll go to that one with like all the like graphics and stuff. And then I use like OBS for like recording and live streaming now. Well, I would use it like mainly for recording, but now I decided to ditch StreamYard, which pretty much everybody uses. But there's just not that much customizing that you can do in that. You're sort of just set with like what they let you do in there. But yeah. I spend a lot of time, obviously, sort of dinking around with this stuff, but yeah. Sorry to get a little nerdy. Okay, Robotnik. I was spitting out formulas while you were spitting up formulas. Tom, I was breastfed, actually. Nice. Rub that in my orphan face, why don't you? Okay, I think, was that when he was like trying to get into his house to sort of get Sonic? I think it may have been that. Yes, The Miz. I know there's wrestling fans out there, but like, The Miz, really? I think Henry Cavill's coming back as Superman in the future. I think so too at some point, you know. I'm holding out hope for it. You know, it's just all this Hollywood sort of like negotiating and all the sort of like politics between like the agents and the actors and the studios and stuff. Like Henry Cavill's agent is Danny Garcia, who is The Rock's ex-wife, who manages him. So it's like there was that Instagram photo that I think maybe The Rock or Henry Cavill shared, where they're like sitting at a table at like I don't know, it's like a patio at like a hotel or something, and they're like having a drink together. And, you know, that fed speculation that like Superman was going to be in Black Adam. And I mean, that was probably, I don't know, that may have even been before Batman v Superman. That may have been like 2015 or something like that. I'm not too sure, but stuff may have changed, but I think we're going to see Henry Cavill again for sure. And I mean, that article announcing sort of if it is the Calvin Ellis Superman, like that article made it sound like it was going to be a different Earth, separate from like, I guess the continuity already established with like Henry Cavill's Superman and like Wonder Woman and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see. Black Superman cannot be Clark Kent. It have to be a different name. Yeah, a lot of people were thinking Calvin Ellis, or Kal-El. Well, the article never specifically said like Calvin Ellis or Clark Kent or anything like that, but it did say Kal-El, but that could still be Calvin Ellis. But anyway, it all depends kind of like what is Warner Brothers sort of angle as far as, is this sort of like just a different continuity, or is this completely sort of like rebooting Superman entirely? But what doesn't get me excited is that it's all produced by J.J. Abrams, man. J.J. Abrams. It's like, dude, just go off, make your own sort of original story. But it's like him and Alex Kurtzman. Alex Kurtzman was sort of, he set up the Star Trek Discovery franchise. And, I guess before even that, he attempted to, build the Dark Universe for Universal, which I was looking forward to. But The Mummy clearly didn't work out for Universal, and, they just decided to scrap the whole thing. But I mean, they had like Javier Bardem as like Frankenstein's monster, and Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, and Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man, and you had Sofia Boutella as, I guess, the Mummy in that film. But it's like you had that cast, and they just scrapped the whole thing, man. And then we got that Blumhouse Invisible Man movie, which I did like. I thought that was pretty good. And I don't know. It's like Alex Kurtzman and J.J. Abrams, man. They just can't work on original stuff. It's always like working on franchises or already established IPs. Coming in 2025, Superman vs. the KKK, Kryptonian Kill Clan. The only way we will get Zack Snyder's verse is if AT&T stepped in and WB is not involved. Yeah, I mean, the whole Toby Emmerich stuff, like, I'm curious what the potential, how much more of a potential is there that the Snyderverse continues minus Toby Emmerich. Well, you still have Walter Hamada in there, sort of picking and choosing which DC properties get developed. And then I guess Toby Emmerich and Ann Sarnoff would be the ones that say, like, green light the movie, go into production, right? So I don't know. The Dark Universe, what a waste. Dude, it was, man. I mean, I was really looking forward to the movie. I thought the trailers looked great, and there was that clip where like Tom Cruise is holding onto like the door of a plane and it goes flying off. Like the man just does crazy shit, man. That's what I love about him. Like, just like he's willing to like potentially kill himself so that he can sell movie tickets. Did you watch the Falcon and Winter Soldier series? What are your thoughts on Sebastian Stan playing Luke Skywalker in the future? I don't think that's been confirmed, but my brother and sister-in-law were over for the weekend like 2 weeks ago, I think. And they had been watching it. I didn't really have any interest in it, but they hadn't watched the finale yet, and like they didn't want to put it on because like it would. I haven't watched any of it, so they didn't want to like spoil it for me. And I just told them like, no, let's just put it on. I don't care. So I watched it and it seemed okay, but then like I scrolled on Twitter and just, you know, there's people that are, you know, I guess happy about it, not satisfied. I don't really know all the reasons why, because I didn't really watch the show to begin with, but I mean, it looked okay, I suppose. But I don't know. I just, Falcon and Bucky, they're just not, I don't know. Bucky, I thought the most interesting things with him was the Winter Soldier and Civil War, but I don't know. I just don't care anymore for those characters, or I guess the MCU in general, to sort of take the time to watch the show. Oh, Luke Skywalker. Yeah, that's been rumored for a long time. Nicolas Cage for Johnny Cage, JK. I'll see myself out. You know, that could be interesting. And I bet you he would do it. But he is like almost 60 years old. For the Dark Universe, they should have used Brendan Fraser's Mummy as a jumping off point. Dude, yeah. Those first two Mummy movies are great, man. I don't really remember anything about the third one. It was like the Dragon Tomb Emperor or something like that. But yeah, those first two, man, I like those. You know, I think it's the second one that has the god awful CGI of The Rock as the Scorpion King. That's terrible. But anyway. Falcon and the Winter Soldier had too much of the political crap, Sam getting denied a loan, and I guess Tony didn't set up an Avengers Trust Fund. He got, what did he get a loan for? What did he need a loan for? Those were $500 sunglasses, asshole. Yeah, to Goro. And then he does the splits and punches him in the nuts. That movie, man, it's timeless. Mortal Kombat 95 is timeless. It's almost like a fine wine. It gets better as it gets older. I guess minus the special effects. But yeah, I still enjoy that movie. But guys, let me know how the stream's been going as far as like if it's been like laggy, or I don't usually use this for live streaming. So let me know if there's like any sort of hiccups. And cops harassing Sam in a black neighborhood while he's with Bucky. It should be Bucky that is questioned. These two should be superstars. Yeah, that is kind of weird, I guess. Which movie is better, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, dude? That is which both can be found, and which both were reviewed on the Abominations in Technicolor podcast. You know, I'm going to go with Street Fighter. I mean, I won't argue with anybody that says Mortal Kombat is a better movie, but like what I prefer is Street Fighter. And I know like some people think that movie is just an abomination, but like I love Street Fighter, man. Let me see here. Hang on. Dude, right there, man. There it is. Street Fighter VHS within arm's reach. Excellent. All right. Good to hear. Nice. Yeah, I don't have my daughter. My daughter's in bed now, so we're not streaming Coco Melon on Netflix or anything like that. Or Blippy. Street Fighter has Raul Julia just having a blast in his last role. Yeah, man. Dude, he is so awesome in that movie. You know, when he's talking to Chung Li in sort of, I guess, I don't even know what room it is. You know, it's like the red room. There's like velvet and he like changes, and, you know, she's telling the story of like how her father like died, and, you know, he says, for you, it was the most important day of your life, but for me, it was Tuesday. Like that is so good in that movie, man. So good. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely what makes that movie so much fun to watch. Trying to think of who else I love in that movie. I mean, I do love Jean-Claude Van Damme as can't even think of his name. Why can't I think of the character's name, man? Guile. Colonel Guile. Yeah, he's phenomenal, man. Coco Melon. Why don't you watch the 2000 Justice League series instead? Well, here's the thing, man. She's not the age where she can like follow like stuff that has like a narrative story. So it's like a lot of stuff that's just like songs and stuff like that. So yeah. So lately everybody's been watching Invincible, and I don't know, what's the new show that came out this weekend on Netflix? Jupiter's Legacy. And my ass is sitting down watching Coco Melon. But it's all good, man. Kyle. Or did you mean Guile with a G? Quick, change the channel. Yeah. At the weapons sort of black market exchange, right? Definitely a hilarious moment as like the truck with like explosives is charging towards the tent that like Bison and all those guys are in, and then Zangief, they're all watching it on like the monitor as like the news broadcast, and he says, quick, change the channel. Hilarious moment from the movie. All right. What's my favorite game to play on your arcade rig back there? Anything that you discovered that you had never played before? Dude, I mean, there's literally like 11,000 games on that thing. I mean, a lot of them are like shitty Atari games that like I've never even heard of. But, anything from obviously Atari to, there's no like ColecoVision or anything like that on there. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, it has like all the Sega stuff. No PlayStation, but it does have Nintendo 64 stuff. Neo Geo. My favorite is probably the Metal Slug series from Neo Geo. And that's just kind of like a side-scrolling like shooter game. And it's so much fun, man. So much fun. She doesn't have to follow the story, just watch the cartoon. When my niece was younger, we watched Justice League and Star Wars. She was fascinated just by the colors and sounds. All right. Is the E.T. Atari game on it? It is, man. It is. It's like one of the worst selling games of all time, I think. Do you think Hal Jordan Green Lantern might show up in Justice League sequel by Zack Snyder? Well, if Zack's able to make this Justice League 2, then yeah. But I don't know. That's what the whole the Snyderverse has to be restored for that to even happen. But yeah, he's gonna put him in the movie if he gets the chance. Did you hear about the numbers of Zack Snyder's Justice League streams in China? Are these numbers legit and are they legal? It's more than 200 million. Man, I don't know about that. I think I saw that too. Was that from like Small Screen UK who was putting those numbers out? I did see some people talking about how that's probably fake, but I don't. It's so hard to know what to believe at this point. I'm sure the number's high, but like 200 million. I mean, yeah, there's like almost 2 billion people in China, but I don't know. Neo Geo Time Killers. I've never played. Have I played Time Killers? I need to get a light gun so I can play like House of the Dead and stuff like that. It might be on. Time Killers might be on there. I'd have to look though. I don't know for sure. Actually, I can connect to my Raspberry Pi that's on the network. That's what's running the emulator on the arcade, and I can go into like my ROMs folder, which are the ROMs are what the like actual games are. So it's cool because I can like add games to my arcade cabinet from my desktop here instead of like having to do it on the console itself. Yeah, I don't see it. Doesn't look like it's on there. You should keep your Street Fighter VHS tape in a humidity-controlled case with no light penetration. Someday countries may wage war on each other to obtain a copy. Oh, man, that's hilarious. Well, it's not getting blasted by light, really. But I'm sure you can still buy unsealed copies of Street Fighter on like eBay, man. I miss Duck Hunt game. Yeah, I mean, all those sort of like games with like light guns, and I don't know if Duck Hunt is on that, but I'm sure I could download a ROM of that and put it on there. Canada had 1.1 million on Crave. Technically, the state should be at 10 million. So China should be at least 100 million at least. Okay. Yeah, kind of going by like going off of like the population ratios. All right. The T2 arcade game with the machine gun was pretty rad. Yeah, there was the Beltline bar, I think, had that, the arcade version. And I remember like playing that, or at least, you know, watching other people play it. That was a pretty rad game. But yeah, lately, like the games that I'm playing is Metal Slug. And I think I have like there's like five games in the franchise, I guess. And they're all rad. Thoughts on the Batman Ninja movie on HBO Max? I never watched that. You know, it looked pretty crazy and wacky, but I don't know if there was all that much positive feedback on it. I mean, it's kind of an interesting idea to do. But yeah, I don't even know if like people were into the movie. Well, it has 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, it's only like 17 reviews. Audience score is like 61%. Rex, 11,000 games is like Flanders satellite TV, 101 channels locked out. I mean, there's a ton of games on there that's shit that I should just kind of remove, which makes it a lot easier to just like scroll between games. But you could set a favorites list. So like anything that you play, anything that you like or play recently is in there. Batman Ninja is on Netflix here. Okay. Yeah, I've only seen it on HBO Max on like the apps I use. But yeah, I haven't pulled the trigger and watched it. But after this stream, man, I'm gonna put on Mortal Kombat Legacy and give it a shot. So if it's shit though, I'm gonna give you guys shit. But I trust you. Let's see. Been going over for an hour at this point. All right. But has there been anything you guys been watching on TV lately that has been good? Let's see. I played Maximum Carnage pretty recently and couldn't get past the first level. It was so damn hard. Don't remember that when I was a kid. I don't think I ever really played Maximum Carnage. Yeah, Spider-Man. Like, the only like Spider-Man game that I remember really liking was there was one that came out for like PlayStation 2. And it must have been like back in the day, whenever like a movie would come out, they would come out with like the game. You know what I mean? And I think it was that version of Spider-Man for PlayStation 2. And I remember really liking that game, man. And like all the flying stuff was really awesome. Like what's weird though is that like obviously like Spider-Man can't fly higher than the buildings, but in like this PlayStation 2 game, like you could fly like hundreds of feet above like the New York skyline, which makes absolutely zero sense. Netflix always has. I'm watching Mayor of Easttown on HBO. It's a very good show. All right. Your Coco Melon is pretty good. God damn you. The bane of my existence is Coco Melon. Nothing on TV here. I watched The Great Escape on Blu-ray that I just got yesterday. I remember you sharing that Blu-ray disc. And a couple of weeks ago, I watched Love and Monsters on Netflix. That was a fun watch. All right. Last night, I watched Class Action Park. Well, I mean, I had watched like a half hour of it, maybe like a couple months ago, but I finally finished the movie. And man, crazy shit. That water park in New Jersey, man. Pretty nuts. There was also a documentary on Hulu called Sasquatch. And it's about this guy who was a journalist and sort of doing, I don't know, sort of studying or doing undercover work maybe on a pot farm in Northern California. And he was at this guy's, I guess, cabin in the woods where they grow everything, grow the marijuana, I guess. And these guys come running into, he's telling this story on this documentary that these guys come running into the cabin just covered in mud. And they're telling like the cabin owner that like these guys, they're dead, man. They're torn apart, and basically like freaking out that they just saw like Sasquatch murder like 3 people in front of them. So the documentary is kind of about like Sasquatch and these guys, that this guy who like experienced some like crazy scenario in the early 90s. While he was working on this pot farm, and it just evolves into this other sort of crime related story. And I don't know, it's not so much about on the pot farm stuff, but like the Sasquatch thing. Like sometimes I go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, and I don't know, there's just some crazy stories out there, man. Jupiter Legacy is cool. Yeah, I do want to get to that at some point. But yeah, I've seen some positive things about that. Mayor of Easttown is good. I liked The Outsider as well. Need to watch those. My Netflix time is all messed up with Asian shows as my wife goes in there and watches some Asian soap operas. I didn't realize there were Asian soap operas on Netflix. Are they like subtitled, or are they like just ones that were like filmed in Canada or like the United States that happen to be Asian? Or are they like, like Spanish soap operas, those are filmed in like Spain or Mexico City. Was the Sasquatch thing good? Is it the cartels using Bigfoot as cover for murder? I mean, it kind of gets into some of that. I mean, the setup is much more interesting than like what it turns out to be. It's only 3 episodes of like 50 minutes, so it's not that much of a commitment, but like the first episode, it like kind of really hooks you in. Like, man, this sounds crazy. But I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it didn't turn out to be kind of what I was expecting or sort of hoping to be. You know what I mean? But I still had a good time. So much international stuff on Netflix. Yeah, there is. Tenacious D found the Sasquatch. And the baby sass. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Been going for almost an hour and 15 minutes at this point. So almost 11 o'clock my time. But thanks for hanging out with me. Do me a solid before you take off. Hit that like button if you could. Looks like we're up to like 10 likes at this point, but it helps the algorithm, all that sort of YouTube shenanigans. Sort of not prioritizing small creators, I guess. Oh, out of China, Korea, Japan. Gotcha. Yep. Thanks for hanging out, man. Really appreciate it. Also for that super chat. Means a lot. Time to watch Street Fighter. Yep. I got to take it off. Yep. Mortal Kombat Legacy. I'm going to watch it, guys. So until next time, we'll see ya. Let me know. I'll have to let you know how that movie is. So ask me next time.